Hello and welcome to the Infinity Saga and Beyond, an MCU fan podcast. My name is Jordan, and with me today is Ron. How are you today, Ron?
I'm doing good, man. We're kind of doing a little sort of impromptu thing here. We planned on doing a Star Wars podcast tonight, but some things didn't really link up. So we're like, we got some Marvel stuff kind of coming down the pipe this week. So let's chat. So I'm excited to break it down with you.
Yeah, so I guess let's just start off with the official stuff, right? Which is we are getting a Deadpool trailer supposedly. The reason why I say supposedly is because Disney hasn't confirmed it, but it is through like I think Variety posted
hmm
something about it. So
it's not just can we fry some chicken or can we what's that? Can we get some toast? I think that's what they're called. Yeah,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm trying. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes, it is not just that. So, yeah, so we're supposed to get a trailer for that during the Super Bowl, which will be, unfortunately, the worst Super Bowl in this century,
Yeah.
and
Sole
and we're
reason
not
I'm
gonna.
even watching the game. Like I feel like one of the casuals this year because the only reason I'm watching the game is for the commercials and the trailer parentheses S because who knows at this point. A bunch of companies
Yeah,
just said they weren't coming out with trailers. But Deadpool should be enough. Should give us plenty to not only speculate on today, but to break down in the coming weeks here.
yeah, no, I would be watching it anyway just because I watch every year, but
Mhm.
I, yeah, not feeling it as much. Um,
We're Ravens fans, by the way, for people who are listening who don't know why we are so
yeah, why we're so
abjectly
sour
against this
about it.
Super Bowl. Yeah, we're not just taking a anti Taylor Swift stance here.
No, no, I'm pro Taylor Swift here. She's the reason I'm tuning in. I'm just kidding. But I am pro Taylor Swift, but it's not the
I
reason
was
I'm
gonna
tuning
say maybe we're somewhere in the middle
in.
of that. Yeah,
um, yeah, no, it is what it is, right? The Chiefs will probably end up winning, and then we'll have to move on and live with that for the next year.
yeah,
Uh, anyway, the Deadpool 3 trailer will be the highlight of the night, I think, in most people's
yeah.
estimations. So I'm really excited for that. I don't know if I'm going to. I guess I can announce that on here now because I announced it on Facebook today. But I don't know if I'll be able to see Deadpool 3 right away because my wife is expecting uh the week before, 10 days before the movie comes out. So most likely I am waiting to see the movie, but we'll still have coverage of it. I'm sure Ron will see it. I'm sure if I need to, Chris will see it, and we can still do the podcast on here. Um,
What I'll do is
yeah,
I'll just call you on even our StreamYard here, and I'll just put my phone up to the screen, and it'll be like you're right there, man. It'll be like you're right there.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know if I'm gonna get time away. I want to see it within at least the first 2 weeks, so we might
Mhm.
delay the first episode, or maybe you guys talk about it and then I see it
Mhm.
and then we jump back on and all three talk about it. I don't know. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. But so I am excited for the trailer, but it just means I'm not going to be able to see it right away.
Mhm.
It's also part of the reason I'm not seeing Madam Web. Got to save that cash. Ron and Chris will take the hit there. They'll
Oh
go see
yeah,
it.
it'll be a
They're
tough
first
one,
in
man.
line.
We'll jump on that grenade for the podcast. Going to see that. Yeah. No. I'm still in the camp that I'm excited. I will say the fact that we know now already that there's not a post credit scene kind of
Did they come out and say that? I had no clue.
it's been confirmed by like numerous people who've seen, unless they're gonna dump one in like super last minute, even like after all the screeners, which you don't really normally see at this point in the game. Like if we're talking 6 months out and they're doing test screenings, they might not have them in, but I mean we're talking 2 weeks before the movie comes out at this point. Whatever we're seeing on screen is the finished version. So if they're saying there's no post credit scene, I'd lend myself to believe it.
Yeah, and it's like short, isn't it? Short?
No, it's long actually.
Is
I
it?
think it's like
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
almost 2 hours. Yeah, it's like an hour 57, I think
Oh,
was the
that's short. An hour 57 is short.
you
It
think
may
for
feel long. Let Venom Let There Be Carnage is like an hour and a half, and it felt like the longest 37 hours of my life. And
yeah, no, I do feel you, but I'll be honest with you. I was surprised it even got that long. Like that was the
Yeah,
thing that
yeah.
got me like actually stoked for it, because if this was something where they knew it was going to crash, you'd think they would just, cut it to the bare bones, not leave all this kind of fluff in there, and just kind of get you in and get you out and take the L. But I mean, 2 hours is a pretty good clip. So, like I said, the only thing that I'm not really thrilled at is that there's no post credit scene. And maybe that's just kind of the 2024 superhero fan in me.
Yeah.
You're creating films within an interconnected universe, and everyone likes to say, "Oh, you don't need post credit scenes for every movie." Yes, you do. When
Is
you're
it is it interconnected though? Because that's where I get thrown off, because it seems like it has nothing to do with the rest of the Sony films, and
Mhm.
they've kind of said it's a standalone universe, and they kind of said like uh the the rumors of who Adam Scott is playing, right, is would make it no sense for then the other rumors where they try to get Andrew Garfield in this. I'm like, what? This none of this makes any sense if
And then they said that they tried to get Holland too. Then they pivoted
yeah,
to Holland. Then they just removed every reference of Spider-Man
but it
whatsoever.
takes place like 20 years before he's Spider-Man. None of that makes any sense, Like it's
Yeah,
just
I
weird.
mean, we know they're going to be kind of traveling through time and all this stuff, obviously. But it just, yeah, I don't know. At this point, my expectations are not super super high, but I'm going in, um, like open to it, and not just going to crap on it because it's a Sony
Mhm,
Spider-Man movie,
mhm.
which it's kind of like the easy thing to do, like it was with the DC films at the end. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and I just want to say that for people listening. I'm not one of those that like will just crap on the Sony stuff just because it's Sony making it. I just haven't really enjoyed much of what they put out. Like I haven't seen Morbius still. It, it doesn't
Missing out,
really
man.
it doesn't really move me much. Um I've seen the two Venom movies, but I waited. The first movie I did not watch until like the week of the second one releasing.
Mhm.
I had it on Blu-ray the whole time, and I was like, "Yeah." My parents went to go see the second one, and I was like, "All right, let me watch this one." And it was all right. Like the first Venom, I think is all right. The second one, I did not really care for. Um, I just remember, like, what a few weeks ago, somebody posted like, "Can we stop pretending these movies were bad?" And I had to retweet that and say, "I was never pretending. I really do think they're bad. Sorry." Um, but yeah, I'll catch Madam Web at some point, just because at least they are kind of leaning into the suits at times, right? Like, and that they'll actually have. It's just Dakota Johnson's not really who I picture as Madam Web. I feel like if I call her Madam, it's like she's got to be like 50 years older than me,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
there was also a weird thing that came out. What did she like? She dropped her talent agency like in the last like two
Oh, did
weeks, and
she?
there was yeah, and there was and this could totally just be people like inferring on their own, but there was people saying that it could be in connection to this movie somehow, which isn't exactly the most promising thing to hear a week out from the release, or whenever it
Yeah,
was, whenever it was when that came out. I think it was about a week ago. So yeah, who the hell knows at this point? I guess we just got to kind of see it and go from there,
yeah.
as is the case with every Sony movie at this point. Really, unfortunately,
Any
we're at the point.
movie.
I was just
I,
gonna say, yeah.
I just think that's like how you should act with any movie. Like if you go in thinking it's going to be the best thing, you're letting yourself down if it's not. If you think it is going to be terrible, you're already in the wrong mindset going in. It's like you just got to go in being like, "All right, show me what you got."
Hmm.
And I try to do that the best I can. I know sometimes things will color my perception of stuff when I'm going in, um but yeah, everyone should give movies a chance. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go to the theater and pay for them, because it is expensive. So like wait until it's streaming, wait until it's, on Blu-ray or whatever. But
Hmm.
I definitely recommend at least trying to watch it before you crap on stuff.
For sure. At least then people can't say anything to you. Like if you're like, "Oh, this movie sucks. Did you see it?" No. Like, what are you even talking about? At least if you say you could say you saw it, then you have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because then you can be like, I didn't like this, this, and this, and not just like,
Mm-mm.
well, people told me not to go see it, so I didn't
Not
go.
just
I
it's
didn't go
it's
see
woke and the women and the da you know what I mean? Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Madam Web, famously not a woman before
Yeah.
Sony made the movie. Like what?
Within 5 minutes, they turned Jessica Drew into a woman. I mean, really?
That's how people are. It's like any movie that has a woman in it is like apparently woke. It's I don't
Hmm.
get it. I
Yep.
just don't get it.
No, me neither.
Alien. If you made Alien now, people would be like, "What is this woke
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
nonsense?"
Oh god, yeah. Yep. Even the current season of True Detective, I'm seeing a lot of that because it's a double woman led
Oh yeah,
cast.
yeah.
I have my problems with the season, but I can promise you that the two lead characters being women is not on that list. And it's weird how that's become kind of like the go to. I mean, we're not breaking any news here. Everybody sees it every single day on social
Yep.
media. It's a weird and unfortunate kind of direction that we're going in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Madam Web. I think that's enough Madam Web talk. We good with
Yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk some stuff I want to talk about. Daredevil.
Sexist. No. Yeah, Daredevil. There was a lot that came out this week. Some rumors about Foggy and Karen. We got some really nice set photos that showed off the new suit. The red looks a lot more kind of saturated. It pops a lot more. Really
It's not
cool. Still,
maroon.
yes, it's not
That's
dark.
the thing. The
Dark maroon.
Netflix ones were really maroon red, and I didn't like that.
Me either. And I will say, in their defense, it fit sort of the grittiness of the universe they were kind of trying to establish there. But for the MCU, I think it's a good switch. Just like we're seeing Deadpool's suit kind of got a similar thing too.
Yeah.
His suit's looking a lot more red and vibrant now, and we'll get to him a little after. But yeah, some interesting stuff coming out this week with Daredevil. And rumors of Foggy and Karen's death. I'm kind of interested to get your take on that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the first rumor, right? Which was that they would have not been in the show and their deaths would have been off screen. That was the first rumor. From what made them retool the show. I think I
Mm.
talked about it on that episode that I
Yep.
did then. Um, Awful idea, right? I don't want to hear about the people dying. I want to
Mm.
be able to like, if you're gonna kill them off, like at least make it hit emotionally, and to do that, I think
Exactly.
you need to see it.
Exactly.
The way I think they're going to go about it is I could see them killing off Karen and keeping Foggy. Because I just don't know if you can get away with killing both of them when you're trying to sell this as a continuation of Daredevil. And those are two huge characters
Mm.
in Daredevil, the show, but also in Daredevil lore. But I can see Karen, I can see you moving on from her.
Mm.
There's other female characters that can take like that have also been in Daredevil comics that have had relationships with those characters.
Like they just announced today
Yeah,
the actress for Ben was it Urich? Is that how you say the last name?
yeah, yeah.
His I believe it'll be his daughter coming in. So like you got somebody right there. There's I mean it's Matt. There's plenty of things. We just saw him doing the walk of shame last year going away from She-Hulk's house.
Yes,
So
yeah.
there's no shortage of ways you can go with him from a romantic aspect. And you can't I agree that you can't kill them both. It would be a little too much of a sort of culture shock, or not culture shock, that's a bad way to put it, but a like it would be way too jarring all at once.
I think what
And
they'll do is like both will get injured, one of
yeah,
them
yeah,
will
yeah, yeah, yeah,
die, one of them will be hanging on for a while
yeah.
and hopefully recover.
And
And I
like
think it
Foggy will like blame Matt for it. Yeah, it'll be like,
yeah,
where were you? Yeah.
it has to be Foggy that lives because it just Foggy is so much more ingrained with the character
Hmm.
of Matt. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't want that to happen where you lose Foggy in this show. I'm just glad they brought him back. So if it was between kill them both off with no one on screen or kill them both on screen, I'll take kill them both on screen, but I think you have to keep one of them alive. I think it has to be Foggy. And it's just hopefully uh hopefully they're in there in the show more when they get to the episodes that they're writing fresh, right? So like
Mhm.
remember for everyone listening, they wrote like 6 episodes of the 9 for the first batch and got they filmed a few of them or 6 of them and then had to rewrite them. They're keeping some stuff and just inserting new scenes and like writing some stuff completely over. And that's what brought in the actual actors again, which is great. And hopefully, what the guy who's show running it, uh, I believe he ran Punisher. Yes, I think
Mhm.
he did Punisher. So at least there's connections there.
Mhm.
Um, so I think he'll understand. There's rumors they're bringing Bullseye back now.
Well, it's not a rumor. We saw pictures of him.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, wasn't officially announced. So I'll just
No,
say
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
But I
Um,
mean, seeing is believing in my mind. So
I
we've
have
seen.
I haven't seen season 3 yet. Still, I've watched the first 2. I rewatched the first 2 to build up to season 3. Then the show got delayed, so then I was like, let me
Mhm.
just wait, and
Yep.
I will watch season 3 sometime soon. Now that I'm done all the Arrowverse shows, I have time. I can go back and
Mhm.
watch, season 3 of Daredevil and get fully prepared for what before seemed was going to be a loose continuation, now being like a more direct continuation.
Now it is a continuation straight up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I also love I don't know if you saw in the set photos of D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox on set. There was some kind of sign with Fisk's campaign slogan. And what is it? It's like Fisk can fix. I was like, oh yeah.
That's
I don't know
great.
why. I was like, man, that's really clever.
Yeah, that's great.
But
Um,
but um
I thought it was gonna be
I,
like "Make America Fisk Again."
yeah, yeah. but but yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see kind of how they play this whole thing. Again, I really hope they don't kill both of them. I will say it's a pretty funny kind of merry-go-round we've been with this. It was first it was okay, Foggy and Karen aren't in it at all, and they're being killed off screen. What the hell? Then like a month later, okay, guess what? There's new writers in, and they're back, and everyone's like, yeah. And then like another 2 weeks passes, and it's like, guess what? It's the same, except now we're just gonna show you them die. It's like, oh
Yeah,
damn, what is going on?
yeah, yeah. It was a whirlwind of emotions, right? I do wish people would not spoil this stuff as much online, though. I just like I was just scrolling through something today, and they're like, they're filming Karen's death scene today, and I'm like, what?
Hmm.
Like, I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Like the most problem that we have right now with the reception of this stuff, other than like some of the subpar CGI or anything like that, is that people are getting their expectations set by leakers, right?
Hmm.
Like when we look at Multiverse of Madness, most of the complaints I saw with people with that was, oh, well, those big cameos didn't actually happen. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's not their fault. Uh, people made that up and then you thought it was happening. You
Hmm.
thought Tom Cruise was going to show up as Iron Man, and that's your fault. I'm sorry.
Dude, same thing with WandaVision and
Yeah,
Mephisto. Not to. I know we're gonna have Tommy on our show again here, so not to slander new rock stars in any way because I freaking love those guys and girls. But same thing. Like it was every week. It was when's Mephisto showing up? Mephisto, Mephisto, Mephisto. By the time we got to the finale and there was no Mephisto, despite it being a kick-ass finale, you just kind of get to it and you're like, oh man, like even if you really enjoyed it, which most people did, there's at least that one little part of you that's just like, that kind of takes away from the overall enjoyment, even if just a little bit.
and then you get the people that'll be like, well, they knew what they were doing. They said the devil's in the details. I'm like, that's an actual saying, though.
That's a,
Like, you can't, like, just be like, that's Mephisto. I'm sorry. Like, you just can't do that. Like,
and it's all dealing still with like witches and like this kind of
yes.
dark
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So it fits the tone of what they were going for perfectly. It just isn't what we thought it was.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's like, same thing with like video games have been experiencing the same stuff. Movies, TV shows. We're getting too much information too ahead of it to the point where
Mm-hmm.
like okay I was on the DC subreddit, okay, I think it was like the leaks subreddit, and it was um somebody shared James Gunn had posted something of Captain Atom, right?
Mhm.
And somebody had asked him like, "Hey, do you like Captain Atom?" And he was like, "Yeah, I've been a fan of him for a while." And he shared these comic book covers, right? And
Mhm.
then people were like posting it on there like he's teasing Captain
Yeah,
Atom. People were like, "Well,
yeah,
no, he's just responding." But then there was a comment on there is like, James Gunn is doing a lot of talking, but he hasn't done anything yet. It's like, yeah, because he's producing this
what
stuff.
what
It's
do you
still
mean?
being made. What do you mean he's not doing anything?
Yeah, it's just like flat out wrong. Like if you're saying if you're not you specifically, but
Yeah,
if
yeah.
this person, if their idea of doing something is solely when something goes on the screen, that's insane. Like, what do you think the guy's do? He's in the middle of filming Superman right now, isn't he? Or they're about to start filming, right?
In March, yeah, they're filming in
Yeah,
March.
like what does he think? You just show up and you're like, all right, ready to film a movie. Let's just go the day we announce it. Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
but that's part of this thing is that like Gunn did a year ago did his here's chapter one, and since then we haven't gotten any of that, and that's because it takes a while to make this stuff.
Hmm.
But people look at it and say, "Oh, he's just tweeting all the time. He's not doing anything." It's like he's writing Peacemaker season 2 at the same time that he's about to start filming this movie while he's also hiring cast for other projects like Supergirl, and while he's, you know, finishing up Creature Commandos. He's doing all of this stuff at one time, and but people are starting to expect leaks to come out, or all this stuff to happen where they're like, well, if we're not actually seeing this stuff or getting the leaks yet, then it's not actually happening. And
Hmm.
there are people that think all of that stuff that was announced was just for announcing it and it'll never happen. And
What do they
it's
think this
just
is? Star Wars?
bringing us back to the original topic of
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. But
But
no, you're right.
yeah,
The whole thing is just ridiculous.
yeah, sadly it is. People just want spoilers all the time. They want to know what's going on. He announced like 10 projects and are like, "Oh yeah, okay, can you announce more?" And it's like that is what I don't want. Like next time Marvel steps up to Hall H, I don't want them to be like, "Here's our next 10 phases." I'm like,
Mm,
"Finish what you got.
mm,
Finish the stuff you have now, and next time announce one phase. Do not announce 3 because you had to push stuff back for COVID related stuff, strike related stuff, actor related stuff. It's just not worth having to keep shuffling dates."
mhm. I would almost argue that like even like Gunn may have put a little too much out there in the beginning. Not for people with an actual brain and know how these things work, but in terms of giving like that group of people the fodder to be like, you know, it's all this stuff. When's it coming? You know, like it almost and this is just kind of to support your point that you don't want to throw all this stuff out there to where really it's almost tough for people to get excited about just one thing because there's so much kind of like coming at you. So yeah, I say all that just to kind of back your point there.
I like when people back my point, so that's great. I'll let you talk all day.
That sounded all right. Oh, you want me to
It's
back your
late,
point
all
there,
right?
Joe?
It is late. Okay, so I guess let's talk Dead. Do we want to talk? Are we talking Daredevil still? Or are we going to Deadpool? I like the red suit. We talked about that.
Yeah, I don't think we have to spend too much on it here. We're kind of just moving along.
All right, let's talk Deadpool. I guess we talked about that. There's a trailer coming. You talked a bit about how he's got more red coming. Trailers coming. What do you want to see from the trailer? I'm assuming it's going to be like a teaser. It's going to be a teaser. Let's not call it a trailer. It's going to be a teaser. It's going to
You
probably
think?
push. Yeah, I think because we haven't gotten a teaser yet, right? So I feel like they have to do a teaser first. It'll be a teaser on the Super Bowl, and it'll say "Watch the full thing
Oh
online,"
yeah, 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 yeah,
type
yeah.
of
Okay,
thing.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. In that regard, yes, it will be. Just because you can't afford to put a whole
yeah,
movie
yeah, yeah.
trailer on this, you'd be, you know, you could buy the state of Arkansas for what that would cost.
But I
So,
also wouldn't be shocked if the whole thing is just a teaser. You know, teasers at this point, it'll be called a teaser, but it'll probably still be a trailer. Like,
They're like 90 seconds. Yeah, you
yeah,
get a pretty
it'll
good
be like
chunk.
1:30 to 2 minutes, and
Mhm.
then it'll explain stuff. But do you want to see like plot related stuff? Do you just want to see good interactions between Wolverine and Deadpool? Like, what do you want to see from this?
I do. I want to see like so. Normally, I'm very like don't give us too much in the trailer. But for this one, I kind of would like to see a decent amount. No, like don't go blowing the two biggest reveals of the movie or anything. But we have got so much time between now and when that movie comes out, and there is nothing in terms of Marvel live action stuff that's coming out before then. So I want something that's going to really give us some meat on the bone to talk about. Like again, not don't reveal every single thing you're going for, but at least give us a basic idea of the plot. Maybe give us a couple of those old X-Men because we've already seen them in the post-credit scene of the Marvels anyway, so we know they're coming. So give us a little bit of that. Give us Wolverine in the suit because we already know that's all coming. That's the worst kept secret
That's going to be
since.
the money shot of the trailer. Is going to be
Yep,
them suiting up. I think
him. Yeah, with the oh
with the
yeah,
if they can give it us him with the mask, if they can give us that, and then making some probably quip about like how he can't stand wearing that or whatever. Like just like give us something.
yeah. About
Deadpool
damn
looks at
time.
the camera, yeah, and pretty much says like "about damn time" or something. It's like there you go. Give us
See,
the
we
money
follow
shot
up
of
on our
that.
post credit scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. 20 years later, we follow up with.
Or you
Um,
know what? You know what would be really funny because we saw in what was it was it the post credit for one or two when he goes back into Wolverine Origins and kills the Deadpool in that one.
one,
One.
wasn't it?
So it would what
No, it was two. It was
was
two
it two?
because I believe so because I remember seeing that in the theater with my dad, and I saw that one in the theater with my dad, and not the first one. So it has to be that one.
Okay. So it would be funny if they kind of did something like that, where he literally, because they're going to be going through time and it's all multiverse and stuff. Imagine if he goes into that post credit scene to get the suit, and like
Oh
Hugh
yeah,
and the
yeah,
girl from Wolverine are sitting there like, "What the hell?" She's like, "Oh, "I'll be taking this," and then he just hops into a portal or something. Like that would be hilarious.
yeah. So hopefully, I think I kind of just want some banter, maybe a quick line about what the plot is. I don't know if I need like too much. I am interested to see if the TVA leak is correct.
Hmm.
You know,
And I think that would be something they will definitely like. That'll be like a first 20 seconds of the trailer sort of
that's what
thing.
they would want to show. They'd be like, "Hey, it's mixing with Loki, which is a
Mhm.
huge hit. It's him coming into the MCU, so make sure you know that this is related." Yeah, I think they could do that.
It's like Mobius and B-15 walking down the hall, and there's like we got two more issues, whatever the hell you want to call them, multiversal outlaws, fugitives, whatever, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of going down the file and like intercut it with like little action stuff, and yeah. So I would like, I guess the best way to put it would be give us a lot with a little. Like give us those little, give us a little tidbit, like you said, maybe a line here or there that at least gives us an idea of what the
Of what it's
plot's
about.
really going to be. Not
Hmm.
just, oh, it's a multiversal adventure with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, yeah, I'm going to show up for that anyway, but I'd at least like to have a little bit more of an idea of where we're going story wise.
So lots of talk about what the title's going to be. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Um,
There's people saying, "Hey, it should be Deadpool kills the Fox universe," or Deadpool 3, Deadpool versus Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. Is there anyone that strikes you as like I like that best?
Honestly, no. I saw somebody make a joke today that said it was going to be called Deadpool 3 Taylor's version. That was pretty funny. But because there's actually rumors that she's going to be in the film as what is it,
Dazzler.
Dazzler? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see about that. I'm going to guess that it's going to happen just because Ryan Reynolds and her are such like good friends. Like they're always in
And
the
she was hanging
football.
out with Sean Levy too at like the
Mhm.
at one of the football games.
Yep. So I think it was probably the same one that Hugh and
Yeah,
Ryan
it
were at.
was.
So
Yep.
so yeah, we can all but say without saying that she's going to be in the film. But I just thought that was funny. Yeah, Deadpool 3 Taylor's version. But no, not really. I feel like Deadpool kills the Fox universe would be a little like,
Too meta.
yeah. I
You're
think
the
that yeah.
the 60-year-olds won't get it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if that's the market, right? But like the grandpas, the older people will be like, I don't understand what that is.
Especially if they hear somebody's killing Fox anything, they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? You ain't taking it. What are you, a CNN little sissy?" But so yeah, that one not wouldn't love that one so much. I don't I don't think you really got to like yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't really think you got to get too crazy with it. Let the story tell the story as opposed to, said this big, title. I don't really think it makes that much of a difference anyway, to be honest with you. It could be called, Deadpool whatever. Insert stupid title here. People are going to go see the movie.
I think I like Deadpool and Wolverine more than like if they did Deadpool versus Wolverine. I'm like,
Same.
don't give me flashbacks to Batman versus Superman. Like,
Yeah.
you know, let's not do that. And it
Also,
sounds
it's
like
just
it's
like
probably
that. It
only a
just
little bit of the movie is probably them fighting. It's not going to
Yeah,
be.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, if that's the focal point of the movie, I'm gonna be really upset because, like, what is the point of that outside of it would just be another kind of self-contained thing with like another little post credit at the end. Like, it's saying if the main story of this movie is Deadpool versus Wolverine, and in that case, what Wolverine would be the antagonist in that role, obviously, because it's Deadpool's movie. So it would be a really weird fit, and I don't think that's where they're going, thankfully. So yeah, I feel like Deadpool versus Wolverine would probably just kind of mislead people, if anything.
Yeah, unless if it's supposed to be a parody at that point where it's like Deadpool
Mm.
versus Wolverine, Dawn of the
Yeah,
MCU or
that would
something.
be
I don't
funny. That would be
know.
funny. Deadpool versus Wolverine. Yeah, like Dawn of something. Just to that would be funny. That one I could get behind as long as like there's a known like kind of meta little joke behind it that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
so in your face like Deadpool kills the Fox universe, which obviously there's comic precedent for that,
Yeah.
but not the Fox universe. Obviously, it was Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, but
Yeah.
but even still. So yeah, uh, it should be interesting. We'll kind of see what happens, but I'm expecting them to give us something that we can really really talk about for a few weeks
Yeah, definitely. So we'll probably jump on sometime, I don't know, the next week or two and talk the trailer and we'll have a good discussion about that. But
here.
I don't know, was there any other uh
For
well
Marvel.
one thing we got coming up too, right? It soon should be the to celebrate Valentine's Day
Hmm.
later this month. We're gonna have our draft of the comic book couples. This will be on both this and Elseworlds, where we, kind of like we do with the movies and other stuff like that, where anything's fair game, Marvel or DC, you can kind
Mhm.
of pick out of the draft like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be, and we've got another really awesome guest for that one lined up. I guess we can just announce it now to kind of build some hype. Ryan Airy from Screen Crush is going to be joining us for that one. I'd imagine anybody who's listening to this show has also tuned into his YouTube, knows about him and his old partner Doug there, his little dog. So hopefully we can get an appearance from him too. But yeah, Ryan will be joining us for that, and I'm super stoked, as we all are.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be great to have a discussion like that. Um, yeah. Anything else about Marvel before we wrap it up?
No. I mean, I guess just on a personal, like, or for personal reasons. Alex from Cosmic Circus did a sort of like Q&A thing on Discord the other day, and I was
Oh,
asking
really?
him about yeah, and I was asking him about Nova, and he said if it's not announced in July at San Diego Comic Con, it's probably not coming in the multiverse saga. So basically, check back with me, everybody, in like 5 months, and I'll tell you if I have any sort of joy in my life or not. We'll see. Don't really know where I was going with that one, but just felt like I had to mention it as a Nova stand.
Yeah. Update it for all the Nova fans out there. The five people are clinging to the edge of their seat.
what is the what was it? Arrested Development. There are tens and
Yeah, there are
tens of us.
dozens of us.
Yeah, literally that is us. But we are strong and we are loyal and we are loud. So, God damn it, give us our Nova.
I get it, man. I get it because one of my favorite characters on the DC side is Booster Gold. It seems like we're finally getting something with
Well, yeah,
him.
there you go. Yeah, you're finally
So
getting her.
I totally get it when you love these obscure characters. Some of them more obscure than the others, but like not household names.
Mhm.
It can get a little tough when you're sitting there waiting for the movie and you see other lesser known characters getting their movies, and you're like, "Where's Nova's?"
Well, especially because they set him up in Infinity War.
Would have been perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, with the destruction of Xandar, and it's like, and whenever they do make his show, they're gonna go back to that, and that's gonna be like I doubt they'll actually show Thanos, although it'd be really cool and kind of a way to get people talking about the show.
Well,
But
that's the thing I was going to say. Thanos, Josh Brolin, right, said
right,
that he's heard rumors of them coming back. I hope if that's the case, it is something like that and not a resurrection of anything.
I think it'll probably be Secret Wars. It'll be exactly like kind of how he was in the comic. He had the Cabal with him and stuff, and then I mean, everybody knows Secret Wars at this point. And then Doctor Doom rips his skull out, or his skeleton out of his body,
Yeah,
or I
yeah.
guess just kind of chars his body around the skeleton. I don't know exactly how that thing worked, but yeah. So I think it'll be a Secret Wars thing. I would be very shocked, especially knowing like the amount of money they spent on like She-Hulk and some of these other Disney Plus projects that they put a crap load of money into and they didn't get the return they wanted, like Moon Knight, whatever, what have you. So I think they'd probably be a little hesitant to do something like pay Josh Brolin to come in for that, unless it was something he was like, I'll come in for a day, I'll film, one scene for the opening of the show, and I'm not going to charge you $8 billion. Not literally
He
$8
does
billion.
the voice work on What If.
Does he?
Yeah, yeah. So it can't be that
Wow. Okay.
expensive.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even. Yeah, you know me and What If. I'm very.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
watch. I don't watch. So, well, I do watch, but I can't. Like, it's just very tough for me to get into it. So, yeah, okay. So then that's good. Then who knows? Maybe he will be down to come back. I mean, not to. I'm not going to crap on the guy, but it doesn't. I can't think of anything like major he's had coming down the pipe the last year, or that
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got coming up that I can. I hope he does. He's a tremendous actor, but yeah, who knows if he's got the time? That would be incredible, and it would be a great way to set the tone for that show and kind of give it some star power.
I assume also he has to go in and record stuff for the Disneyland attraction in California because
Oh yeah, the
he's
King
King
Thanos.
Thanos. Yeah, so
Hmm.
maybe he was referring to that. I don't know, but
Could be. Who
sometimes they
knows?
get calls for stuff he probably has no idea what it's for. He's like, "Oh yeah, they want me back in the studio."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
he
like,
rolls
oh
up. He's like, "Oh, it's for a ride. Sorry, I thought it was
yeah.
a movie."
we're releasing a like special director's cut of Infinity War in Spanish, and you got to come record all your lines in
Yeah, it's the Zack Snyder cut of the.
Spanish. Yeah.
We're releasing that now. We saw how well it did on the DC side, so we're like, Zack Snyder, come in and
Let's do
cut Endgame up, and we'll get some new stuff done.
it. Why is Iron Man wearing a black suit and he's attacking everybody? What's going
Yeah.
on?
Why are the colors so muted? No, yeah.
Oh man,
Well, that about wraps us up, I guess.
I think
So
so. Yeah,
over on Elseworlds too, we're going to be recording. Chris and I will be talking the Millie Alcock casting of Supergirl. So make sure you check that out. We're going to be talking that over there, and just kind of maybe some James Gunn tweets and threads and stuff like
I
that.
feel like I may have to get on there just to defend her.
Yeah, I know.
Really
I'll defend her for you. Don't worry. I think she
solid,
is. I
solid.
think she is the best pick for it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, we're teasing our buddy Chris, viewers, who
he
had
wanted
somebody
Donnelly,
else in mind. Yeah,
Meg
he wanted
Donnelly.
Meg Donnelly, and I was very pro Millie from the start. So big dub there, pumped.
Yeah, so far all of my favorites that have been up for the final roles have gotten them.
Mm,
Because I was team Corn Sweat and I was
mm.
team Brosnahan. So and team Millie. So this has
3 for 3.
been everything's coming up Jordan over there. So
Let's go.
make sure you go listen to that. we also are still trying to get the Pod Awakens What If episode for Star Wars. That'll be
Mhm.
coming down the pipe sometime soon. And like I
With Tommy
mentioned,
Bechtold on there with
yes.
us.
And like I mentioned, the couples, comic book couples draft that we'll be doing as well. In March, we're going to have our uh, March Madness voting. And I'll announce it on here, I guess. But we have decided, Chris came up with the great idea of doing, because it's going to be shared between this and Elseworlds, we are doing a James Gunn soundtrack March Madness. So it'll be individual songs from, Guardians 1 through 3, the holiday special, Peacemaker, and Suicide Squad. And they'll go, I have 64 of these songs from those movies. And we're going to do the full 64 bracket. My friend Jack is currently working on a way to like seed them, which we're probably going to see them contemporary, like modern and like classics, and then by most listens on Spotify and stuff. He's going to create this whole algorithm for me. So that's what
Nice.
Jack's doing on the back end for everybody. And then I'm going to all I have to do is put out the tweet with the poll. So that's the way I like it. And that's the way we're going to do it. So I'm really excited for that because I felt like what unites Marvel and DC so far, James Gunn does, and his soundtracks have been great. So that's how we're gonna approach it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so that's coming in March. Also in March, I'm gonna have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire coverage on the main Logjam channel with Casey McGeorge, who's covered She-Hulk on here and Secret Invasion and all that. So he's a big Ghostbusters guy, so we're going to talk Frozen Empire when that movie comes out. So really excited for that. So just follow us on all of these channels, like and subscribe. Leave us comments on your thoughts on whatever we talked about. Are you excited about Madam Web? Are you excited about the Deadpool 3 trailer? Do you want Foggy to live? Comment all that stuff in the notes below. And make sure you follow us on all of our socials. And rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yes, and like and subscribe on YouTube for all you out there.
Yes,
Please, please, it helps us very
it
much.
does
I
help.
know, I know every single person who's on YouTube says that, to where it's almost at the point now where it's like
You
white
do it out of
noise to
spite.
people.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna like and subscribe.
yeah, yeah. I'm not fucking subscribing. No,
I
so
will find a way to watch you otherwise.
yeah, yeah. But no, if anybody listening could, it would be a big help to us. We'd appreciate it.
All right, thank you all for watching and listening. We'll catch you next time when we talk that Deadpool 3 trailer.